Since Meghan married Harry, her life has likely seen a great deal of improvement. However, her actions have seemingly had a negative impact on Harry's life. Let's take a closer look at how she may have affected him and the choices he's made. Join me as we explore these details, and welcome back to the King YouTube channel. Before we dive into the main topic, I want to share a bit of my initial thoughts about Meghan. At first, I thought she was just a normal person who was working hard to succeed in life. When she married Harry, she gained fame and things started to become clearer over time. Initially, I believed she was a good person like the rest of us, but it didn't take long for me to realize that Meghan Markle has a dark and cruel personality. This made me question my instincts. Why do I use such strong language to describe her? Well, let's take a closer look at her actions since marrying Harry to understand the situation better. Before the engagement interview, I had never heard of Meghan Markle or watched her show Suits. When I watched the interview, I felt some bad vibes, but I told myself I might be judging her too harshly and decided to give her a chance. Despite her similarities to Wallis Simpson, both being American and previously divorced, Meghan lacked the polish and class Wallis displayed. Meghan's outfit during the interview looked mismatched, and I thought she might have a lot to learn. Her posture and demeanor seemed lacking in grace, and her manner of speaking was unsophisticated. It made me wonder what Harry saw in her. I was also puzzled by the royal family allowing the interview to air. It seemed like there might have been a better approach. I thought there was a chance the engagement could be called off due to the oddness of the situation. By the time of the wedding, it seemed like many people in Britain had warmed up to Meghan, which made me think she was settling in well. I thought I might have been wrong about my initial impressions from the engagement interview and wished them nothing but the best. I believe the monarchy could benefit from some diversity. However, it did strike me as odd that she seemed to have very little family involvement. When her family did receive media attention, it became clearer why she might have chosen to keep her distance from them. I didn't think it was a good sign that Meghan seemed disconnected from her family. It certainly raised a red flag, but Doria seemed wise enough to stay quiet, follow directions, and wear what was expected of her. At first, I noticed some differences in how Meghan adjusted to the royal family, and I thought it might be a cultural misunderstanding, given how sudden her transition into the royal world was. However, I eventually realized that my initial assumption that Meghan was a good person might have been incorrect. The more I saw and heard of Meghan Markle, the more I felt something was off about her, and my concerns turned out to be justified. When Meghan and Harry's interview with Oprah Winfrey took place, I initially thought they might be telling the truth and perhaps they had been treated unfairly, but as I watched the interview, it became clear to me that their claims weren't entirely accurate. Meghan made numerous statements that I immediately recognized as false. After fact-checking her stories, I found that many of them were indeed lies. As more of her lies surfaced, I realized Meghan was seriously disturbed. Everything that's happened since then, the Netflix series, the podcast, Harry's book, and their various interviews has only reinforced my belief that both of them are incredibly self-centered, self-serving, manipulative, and not very nice people. In the documentary, Meghan claims to have been surprised by the formality of British people and the royal family. This seems puzzling considering her background. As someone who had an internship in an embassy in Argentina and allegedly studied international studies at Northwestern, you would think she'd understand that members of the British royal family might be guarded and take their time getting to know someone new, especially someone who is dating Harry. It's only natural that they would be cautious and need to trust someone before opening up, given how many people might try to take advantage of them. It doesn't seem logical that someone with her experiences would be taken aback by their reserve. It seems clear that Meghan and Harry both lack social intelligence and self-awareness. They don't seem to take the time to reflect on their actions or consider the possibility that some critics may have valid points. Instead, they seem to thrive on grievances and hold on to their perceived injustices. Both appear to carry a significant chip on their shoulders, viewing everything as black and white with little room for nuance. Meghan's recounting of the wedding fitting incident struck me as unusual and unsettling. It's disappointing to see how things have unfolded for Meghan and Harry within the royal family. I wish Meghan could grow and mature into a more self-aware and considerate person, but that seems unlikely given her current approach to life. She was given incredible opportunities, but she chose to leave it all behind and start anew in California. It's clear that Harry is under Meghan Markle's influence, and he seems either too naive to recognize it or simply indifferent. When I heard Harry's lengthy statement early in their relationship about being aware of his privilege and wanting to protect Meghan from the media's harassment, it struck me that there was something amiss. The statement was atypical for the royal family, which adheres to the never complain, never explain approach. It seemed likely that Meghan wrote the statement herself, taking advantage of Harry's sensitivity regarding his mother's death. Meghan appeared eager to play the role of the damsel in distress, which resonated with Harry's desire to protect the women he cares about. This dynamic highlighted that Meghan was taking charge of the relationship and pursuing her own agenda. Harry's emotional vulnerability left him susceptible to Meghan's influence, and it seemed clear that she was steering their course together. The engagement photos with Meghan wearing an expensive dress and no bra, while being draped over Harry outside of Frogmore, gave off an unflattering impression. It seemed overly intimate for an engagement shoot, leading some to think the style resembled that of a call girl rather than a future royal. At Harry and Meghan's wedding, I noticed something was off when I saw the late Queen Elizabeth's expression. She typically loved family weddings and had been cheerful at William's wedding, where she wore a lovely yellow coat and hat, radiating warmth. However, at Harry's wedding, although she initially arrived with a smile, her expression changed to one of disapproval when Meghan arrived. The Queen was usually skilled at hiding her emotions, so seeing her reaction told me something was wrong. I believe the Queen had approved a different wedding dress for Meghan, one that was cream colored and without the elaborate veil. This choice would have been more fitting for a divorcee like Meghan. However, Meghan had secretly had a white dress made, aiming for a Hollywood style wedding reminiscent of Grace Kelly. It seems that Queen Elizabeth only realized she'd been misled when she saw Meghan arrive at the cathedral in her white dress. I can't blame the Queen for feeling deceived in that moment. After Meghan Markle married Harry, her actions quickly tarnished her image as a good girl. She spread false stories accusing the royal family of racism and cruelty, claiming she couldn't bear to live in the palace anymore. It was shocking and disappointing. Then, when a photo emerged of Queen Elizabeth with King Charles, Prince William, and Prince George, Meghan and Harry became upset. They left the palace just 2 days later. I can't understand why Meghan decided to announce her pregnancy at someone else's royal wedding. It was inappropriate and seemed like an attempt to steal the spotlight. Did she resent Eugenie for getting the crown Meghan wanted? Whatever her reasons, her behavior was questionable. It seems Meghan's dark plots have always been part of her nature. The mystery surrounding Meghan Markle and Harry's children is puzzling and has led to various rumors and speculation. Some people question whether the children exist at all, as Meghan rarely allows them to appear in public and little information has been shared about them. There have even been suspicions that Meghan faked her pregnancies for media attention. It's unclear why Meghan keeps her children so removed from the royal family. It could be her way of exacting revenge, or perhaps there is another reason. Regardless, it seems the royal family has been patient and tolerant. Harry and Meghan's behavior can be seen as immature, as they had access to an incredible platform but chose to leave it behind. Harry, in particular, seems to be under Meghan's influence, and his decision to distance himself from his family raises questions about his ability to act honorably. Time will tell whether Harry can find the strength to overcome his current situation and demonstrate more maturity and honor in his actions. I hope Harry and Meghan can set aside their pride and return to the royal family to do meaningful work. At the very least, Harry could benefit from reconnecting with his roots, although it's uncertain whether the British people would welcome them back. Despite their claims of suffering, they seem to demand media attention daily. Their happiness depends on their choices, and they seem to have chosen a difficult path by distancing themselves from family. It's sad, but ultimately it's their own doing, so it's hard to feel sympathy. That's it for today, folks. I hope you found the information I shared helpful, and I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments. Your thoughts enrich our discussions and help us view topics from different angles. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.